The president of the most, 3 years in a row, I believe, the most influential think tank in the world. She is Kay Coles-James of the Heritage Foundation. Kay, welcome back to America First.
Well, thank you, and it's always good to be back. How are you? Are you surviving up there in Washington?
We are thriving, and as you said before you came on, I loved your response. I said, how was your Easter? And you said, adequate. And I think that's the best we can say for the first Easter in living memory where we couldn't actually go to church. For those who aren't familiar, and I know it's a handful of people with who is running the Heritage Foundation, I have a three-page bio in front of me, and I have to read a couple of things out here. So this is a lady who's worked at every state of government, local, state, every level, local, state, federal, worked for President George H.W. Bush, for the Virginia Commonwealth Governor George Allen, President George Bush, in the corporate sector, the nonprofit sector, all kinds of commissions, including this one really impressed me, Kay, the NASA Advisory Council. and then I think because of greatest relevance to us right now, you were the Associate Director of the White House Office of National Drug Control Policy, Assistant Secretary of Public Affairs at the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and you did the same. You were Secretary of Health and Human Resources for the Governor of Virginia. This puts you in a unique position to judge the challenge of what faces the president today. I want to talk about this incredible commission you've created at Heritage. But first things first, this is something I've tried to get across to our listeners. Can you explain the unique challenge that is faced when you have an exigency that affects all aspects of a country? This isn't just a health problem. This is health, economics, national security. This is perhaps one of the most complicated challenges to face any president. Is that fair?
It is absolutely one of the most complex challenges that any president, I think, has ever faced. It isn't, as you said, just national security. It's health. It's economic. It's national security. It's all of those things together. And, I think we have a very unique president. When I heard his opening, your opening, as you were coming in, and the president said, this is one of the most difficult challenges that I will ever have to face, and the decisions that I have to make in the next few weeks about how and when to get our country back up and running again, my heart really went out to him, because he's absolutely right. There are no easy answers. There are no simple answers, and there are no answers that are going to please everyone. But I think we have to get behind our president, our governors, our mayors, our local health departments, our economists, as we are struggling with these complex issues. And I have every hope, and I do believe that Americans will come together. The one thing I would caution, though, Seb, is people say, when can we get back to normal? And I don't think we ever will. I think there will be a new normal. I don't think things are ever going to go back to exactly the way they were, just as they didn't go back right after 9/11. Yes. We saw Washington change forever. No. And this was a new pandemic. It brought on new challenges, and we're going to have to change some things about how we operate as a country in order to be able to get back to our new normal.
Follow this lady right now on Twitter at Kay Coles-James, and support and join the Heritage Foundation. It truly is the center of the conservative universe, heritage.org. You have created, I know personally that your team has been working day and night since this exigency was heaped upon us. And you've created the National Coronavirus Recovery Commission. Talk to our millions of listeners and viewers about what that is and what your goals are.
Well, first of all, I think that some of the best answers are public-private partnerships, that if it were an all-government commission, we would have missed the boat in terms of some of the best solutions and answers. And I believe that in the private sector, we can do it faster, more efficiently, and come up with ideas that can help the president as he struggles with some of these important issues. And so, my idea was to look around this country. Who are some of the thought leaders, the people who can help us struggle with these issues? So why not have someone who actually has a small business and wants to know how to get it going again, has ideas for the president? Why not talk to someone who is in touch with hourly and wage workers and gap workers, who actually has ideas for how to get those people back to work again? Why not talk to some conservative governors like George Allen, or former senators who are both senator and doctor like Frist? People who have a broad range of experience in our economy like J.C. Watts, or someone who knows how to handle a crisis in this country because they've done it before, like Fran Townsend. And so these and many other people have come together, and we are working around the clock so that the president has at his disposal some of the most important, and governors and mayors and the American people, because actually we have already come to the conclusion that how we get this country going again isn't just edicts from the president or from governors or from mayors or from public health or economists, but it's going to come from the civil society as well. Pastors have a voice in this. We recognize that people from NGOs or non-governmental organizations, from our civil society, have a role to play in getting our economy. We've seen it. We've seen them operating in the last few months, and it's an incredible when you harness all of that together. So we will be coming out with specific recommendations for our country on how we can get back to work.
And one of the things I found so heartwarming about the National Coronavirus Recovery Commission is that you are open. This isn't just for governors, CEOs, former senators. You are open to recommendations and input from any Americans. We're talking to Kay Cole James. God bless you and your team. We are so grateful that you are at the helm of the conservative mothership. Please go to heritage.org right now, become a member, and follow this amazing lady at Kay Coles James. I'm Sebastian Gorka. This is America First on the Salem Radio Network, coast to coast on hundreds of stations, live streaming on YouTube, on Facebook, and don't forget Instagram TV as well. Taking your calls on 833-33-GORKA. That's 833-334-6752. We want to hear your stories of how you're surviving the Chinese Wuhan coronavirus.